You may have slashed down my sensei, Ryomen Sukuna, but now it's your turn to fall. What's up, guys? Pencil here, and here we are to do a quick discussion on whether or not Ryomen Sukuna can survive his own spatial slashes, the deadly dismantles, the chaotic and catastrophic cleaves, whatever you want to call it, the spatial slash that he unlocked through the adaptation of Mahoraga back in 236. That slash can Sukuna, Ryomen Sukuna, survive them himself. Now, we don't got much to talk about, but at the same time, we got a lot to talk about. So let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. What's up, guys? Welcome to your fun fact. I have it on me, and I keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, you may be wondering, Pencil Man, why are you making this video? For what reason would Sukuna ever be hit by his own attack? Especially an attack that seems to not even travel, just one that spawns out. Like, why would he get hit by it? Like, does bro, like, get put under a genjutsu and he randomly decides to space slash himself? No. But remember, we have two people who may or may not be able to turn the space slash against them. We have one person who may or may not have already manifested the abilities of Ryomen Sukuna, as was long prophesied by the strongest sorcerer of the modern day, Satoru Gojo. But we also have another prodigy, second only to Satoru Gojo in unusual abilities, who has been patiently and certainly watching this entire battle. Now, admittedly, there are some issues. There are definitely some issues that we're gonna cover in a second, but I think it'd be best to cover them now. Main issue is, as much as I want to huff copium, and trust me, there's gonna be a Yuji copium video. You may be wondering, like, Pencil, where's the Higuruma and Yuji versus Sukuna video? Oh, don't worry, it's coming. But with that being the case, you may be wondering, hey, how are they gonna copy it when they can't perceive it? And that's the big issue, right? Like, they know that it's a slash that cuts the world. They know. But, like, they can't perceive it. And don't get me wrong, we know that Yuta in particular, he's pulled off weird extensions of his techniques that he's just seen, like, once or twice. Like, bro learned sky manipulation and used it perfectly on the fly. Like, he didn't have to experiment or nothing. Bro just whipped out sky manipulation. Like, woo! So he's good at copying techniques. But once again, sky manipulation was perceivable. He could witness it. Like, Earl literally sat there and explained to him, hey, watch this. Whoa. Now the space is a surface that I can bend and manipulate. Woo! And for the other one, Shikigami technique, Shikigami technique, probably too complicated, and Drew likely showed it to him. Probably didn't explain it, but, like, not too complicated. You can't see cleave and dismantle, though. You can't perceive it. And especially Space Slash, in particular, you really can't see it. A lot of people are trying to gas up Kashimo Hajime for dodging the Space Slash, but, like, Sukuna told him, hey, move. Get out the way. Move. And he didn't really dodge it, he was told to avoid it. And Sukuna specifically told him that before the attack fired. So Space Slash is still an imperceptible attack. Like, Kashimo only recognized it as, Nani Daisuke, that's the attack that got rid of Satoru Gojo, a slash that cuts the world. Because he literally, like, saw the world cut. Like he was there, and he felt it. Like, he did lose half his hand. Like bro was, unfortunately, a victim of Space Slash. But it's not perceivable. That's the main issue. It's not perceivable. And while, don't get me wrong, I'm in the camp that Ryu's just wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Ryu rider to the day I go. The Ryu's already gone, so what am I riding anymore? But regardless, I think Ryu is ultimately incorrect. I don't think Yuta actually has to eat people, or, like, eat a portion of them, or Rika has to eat a portion of them. Because, when did Rika eat Inumaki? Even, like, a strand of it, like, when did that happen? Never. And I don't know. I mean, maybe Rika ate a piece of Drew off screen. We don't see Drew anymore, but I highly doubt it. I do take Kenjaku's word at face value. You know, the most knowledgeable character in the series, while talking to Satoru Gojo, says, oh, his ability to unconditionally copy curse techniques. Neat. I do think it is just like that. I do think Yuta Okotsu possesses the capability to copy any curse technique he sees and get the general idea of. But the thing is, like, it's the seeing part. It's the seeing part. And don't get me wrong. This still does not rule out the fact that Yuta could do it. Because Yuta's a crazy prodigy, right? Once again, he whipped out spatial manipulation on the fly after simply restoring his technique just like that. He really gambled it all, laid everything on red like Hikari taught him to, and actually ended up winning the gamble. But it's a little bit hard to argue, but at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if Yuta could copy it, because Sukuna did. Remember, Sukuna didn't actually have it. He had to fundamentally change the properties of Cleave and Dismantle on the fly for the first time. So I can see it probably takes them a second. Probably takes Yuta especially a second to like see it, because he has to fully conceptualize it, understand it, maybe even hear the chants. Maybe Sukuna performed the chants with one of his mouths recently, while Yuta may or may not still be watching, who knows. I do think Yuta can get the gist of it, because Yuta's a monster and a beast in terms of adaptability and prodigyness. That's not a word, is it? I highly doubt that's a word. We're gonna go with it. Yeah, in terms of a prodigy, Yuta Okotsu is crazy. So thusly, I think he could do it. And Yuji Itadori, I mean, look at his hands. Like, don't get me wrong, I also see the comparisons to True Form Mahito with the whole, like, sharp elbow thing. But once again, that's saving for another video. But him getting Sukuna's curse technique has been set up how long ago? Like 200 plus chapters ago at this point. It's been a hot minute. It's been literal years. Thusly, him getting access to the technique, not impossible. Him growing it on the fly in order for it to be Space Slash, not impossible. At least in my mind. And I do believe this could be one win con against the King of Curses. Because here's the thing, right? The biggest issue with Yuji just using regular Cleave and Dismantle is that Sukuna is also made of his own curse energy. So thusly, Yuji's lesser curse energy amounts fueling a weaker Cleave and Dismantle would likely just bounce off Sukuna. He'd be like, dude, you're trying to hit me with my own curse energy. It may be infused with yours, but it's going to blunt it. Just a bit. And the thing with Yuta using it is that Yuta simply has less curse energy than Sukuna. Thusly, the whole adaptation thing that comes with Cleave likely would not be that effective. So they do need Space Slash for very particular reasons that we're going to have to get to in a second. However, for Yuji learning it, I mean, could give bro the MC status he's long been waiting for. You know what I'm talking about? All my Yuji fans out there. I know you've been itching and starving, just like I've been itching and starving for bro to get a big old squandily juicy amp, and what juicier an amp there is than Space Slash. But of course, let's just put all the pretenses aside. Let's say that Yuta Okotsu, the blessed child, and Yuji Itadori, the cursed one, are able to mimic the spatial slash of Ryomen Sukuna. Can he survive it? Yes. Yes. He can't tank it, but he can survive it. Now, hear me out. The thing with Spatial Slash is that it is not in of itself an insta-give. It is not. It simply isn't. We see this when Maharaga, the creator of Spatial Slash, uses it for the first time. He grabs the blade, and by grabs the blade, I mean literally raises his arm. Raises his arm and slashes, but he whiffs. Like, well, not whiffs. He does hit Gojo, don't get me wrong. But, like, he whiffs any vital organs. Like, don't get me wrong. I would not like my arm being torn off. I really like my arm. It's very, very neat. I can do arm things with them. But, like, Sukuna could grow back an arm quite easily. If Gojo Satoru, who is purely human, by the way, like, despite how insane and next level and as kooky and crazy as he was, no, Gojo Satoru is still a human being. So thusly, if he got his arm torn off. It's likely harder for him to regenerate an entire limb than it is for Ryomen Sukuna to regenerate an entire limb, considering he's a curse human hybrid evolution thingamajig. So thusly, will just a space slash alone be enough to Ryomen Sukuna? No. It very specifically matters where it hits. If it hits nowhere vital, Sukuna is going to be like, y'all can do that. I don't like that. Be gone. And he's going to immediately space slash them, and presumably his would be much more effective. And the thing is, right, you may be wondering, well, Pencil, man, since you just talked about Yuji's regular cleave and dismantles, if he has the technique, being dulled by the fact that he's built off Sukuna's cursed energy, and you talked about the fact that Yuta Akutsu has, according to his own admission, under half the cursed energy that Ryomen Sukuna does, then what's the difference with Space Slash? Why would that suddenly be able to magically damage Sukuna, where cleave and dismantle, even from characters as strong as Mr. Second only to Satoru Gojo, and the cursed one, Yuji Itadori, why would their space slashes suddenly do damage where their base slashes wouldn't? And remember who you are, Simba. You need to remember that space slash does not care about your durability nor your cursed energy type. It does not. We see Gojo Satoru, someone who, for all intents and purposes, should have overall less cursed energy than Sukuna in every single way, shape, and form. He has less cursed energy. Well, is that true? I mean, Yuta says that, but is it true? I want to take Yuta's word at face value, because I don't think Yuta's a liar. I don't think he's a liar in any of his statements. But regardless, I don't think Yuta's a liar, so presumably Yuta has more cursed energy than Gojo. And Gojo's able to tank someone using cleave on him when that someone has more than double the cursed energy of Yuta. So cleave ultimately shouldn't, or no, the dismantle, the slash that splits the world, technically should have worked on Gojo, right? Because he ate a bunch of cleaves, which were very specifically meant to adapt to his durability, but he just healed those off. But Gojo simply got, ooh, that sounded real good. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Ooh, that sounded battery. But regardless, he got bisected anyway. Well, I don't know why. Because spatial slash in particular does not care about your durability. It doesn't care about your cursed energy type. It doesn't care about any of that nonsense. It might as well be irrelevant. Because as long as you exist within the space that the user of Space Slash is aiming for, whether that be Maharaga, whether that be Sukuna, whether that be Yuji, whether that be Yuta, you will become a target. Actually, no, you ironically enough won't become a target. You'll just become a victim. It's just as simple as that. Because it's attacking space. It's not attacking you. Because remember, that's how Sukuna himself specifically explains it. It expanded the target of the technique. It was no longer targeting Gojo Satoru. It was targeting the world that Gojo Satoru existed in. And the same case would be reflected upon Ryomen Sukuna. Where, ultimately, despite him having insane, and I mean insane, probably undeniably the only thing that will likely have more cursed energy in the entire series than what Sukuna has right now is probably the conglomerate, because it's literally made of everybody. So, like, it's just a conglomerate that could maybe have more cursed energy than Sukuna, but in spite of the fact that he has that much cursed energy, to the level where someone who has boundless cursed energy like Yuta Akutsu was like, unfortunately, I don't know, dog. Bro seems like he's boundless plus. And in spite of the fact that, specifically coming from Yuji, the attack would be mostly dripped in, steeped in Sukuna's cursed energy, meaning it shouldn't be as effective as Gojo Satoru mentioned. So admittedly, he takes a shocking amount of damage from purple. Like, he literally takes pretty much the same amount of damage that Sukuna does from purple. He just keeps, like, his foot and his arm and his hand. That's the only thing he really keeps. But he does take pretty decent damage, so your own cursed energy softening the effects of things doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that Sukuna's so omega bulky relative to what Itadori can likely output. But none of that matters because ultimately, Sukuna is still a three-dimensional creature. Shock horror, plot twist. Sukuna is not a four-dimensional being. He isn't. He is bound by the third dimension. So he exists in there. So, all Yuta and Itadori have to do is not aim for Sukuna. Aim in the space that he's in. Do just that. And suddenly Sukuna may be bisected. Now, the only issue is like, how good is Sukuna's regen now that he's in true form? Does the cursed human biology help or hurt him more? This is the question. Because, like, once again, I go back to the issue of just hitting Sukuna isn't enough. And in fact, if they fumble and reveal, if Yuta or Yuji ultimately reveal that they can Sukuna in any way, shape, or form, I think they're going to get immediately space slash back. So it needs to be in a vital area. But honestly, unlike Gojo Satoru, considering Sukuna's restored fresh, back to full, and Kashimo did literally no damage to his true form, it's very likely that Bro's stamina is just off the charts. And thusly, with him being fully restored, even if he gets split straight down the center, or at least straight across the torso, I genuinely think he could just RCT that. Or like pick his lower half back up or have his lower half squat back down, just fuse himself back together. I legit think that could happen on some Galen from Seven Deadly Sins type beat, like where Escanor, he pulled up and he was like, this axe is one-handed. Hold this, and swung it right across and bisected Galen. Yuji and Yuta may celebrate a little bit, like, hey, we took him out, we bisected him just like he bisected our sensei. And as they start to cry over the realization that they did just to Sukuna what Sukuna did to their sensei, Sukuna's like, I swear, these children and their tricks. He just picks up off the forearms, or what's left, who knows, maybe if he's split straight down the middle, he doesn't have wrists or hands anymore. But he just, boop, attaches on, pops the hands back out, and is still back in action, and then immediately space slashes them. So the only place where I think the space slash can come in and save them all is if they go straight for the head. Or straight down the middle. Like, I'm not talking across the middle, I'm talking they need to pull back and like straight down the center, bisect him perfectly, and hope that he can't regen from that. And even then, I'd say you'd kind of want to quarter him. You would want Yuji and Yuta using Space Slash at the exact same time to, like, literally like this, like across and down at the same time. So Sukuna's quartered, and hopefully he cannot regen from that. Keyword is hopefully. That's the big thing. I think Sukuna is susceptible. Unfortunately, due to the fact that he is still a three-dimensional being, it is highly unlikely that he can magically transcend the third dimension. Don't get me wrong, Gege's been yanking stuff out of nowhere for Sukuna for a hot minute now, but I do not see him going as far as to make Sukuna a literal higher dimensional being that is immune to things that happen within the 3D space that he exists in. So I think he is susceptible to it. I think he can fall to it because Space Slash ignores everything that is existing within a space and cuts that space anyway. With that freedom, with that flexibility to just swing and atomize, or, well, not even atomize, just erase anything that is swung with, or anything that is launched at by this new spatial dismantle, I think Bro can be susceptible to it, and I think there are two characters in the narrative who can whip it out and smack it on Sukuna's forehead, but the issue is, unless they smack it very specifically on his forehead, and his nose, on his lips, down his chest, over his stomach mouth, over the double action he's got going down there, and truly bisect him down the middle, I think Sukuna could heal it off. Because Sukuna's RCT should be, at bare minimum, in a similar tier to Gojo's. Except he's fully fresh now. And he's in a less restricted body, considering he's more hybrid curse human thing than just solo human. So, I think it could get tragic for Sukuna. This could happen to him. The likelihood of it happening, though, That's the real secret final kicker. Allow me to get something to show you the likelihood of this happening in the narrative. Here. See what I have here? Do you see it? Do you see what I have? I'm holding it right now. And you're wondering, pencil, you're holding nothing. Exactly! I think this could happen. I think Sukuna could fall to it. It'd be an amazing twist of his own hubris and stuff like that. It would be fantastic and beautiful and wonderful, and it'd be a great way to take out Ryomen Sukuna. Honestly, in a relatively good way, too. Him underestimating Yuji, Sukuna indirectly underestimating everybody else, such as Yuta, and even Kenjaku underestimating Yuta, then getting such a crazy next level technique due to their prodigy status and witnessing Sukuna do it, and him accidentally revealing the chance through the battle with Kashimo, and that would unironically retroactively give Kashimo a purpose, because it would be Sukuna revealing, hey, these are the chances you do to activate this very specific attack, and that's how they beat Sukuna. It would be wonderful. It would be great. It would be too nice. It would be too nice. That's what makes it. If this were almost any other series, I could see it working just like that. I could see the mangaka explaining it as Sukuna accidentally snitched on himself during the Kashimo fight, forgot he was being watched, underestimated Yuji Todori and his learning skills, even though Yuji Todori is a prodigy, and especially underestimated Yuta Okotsu because he didn't know that much about Yuta Okotsu, because she never interacted with him that much, and ultimately he falls to the one thing that he adapted to very specifically override the one person that would give him trouble in the entire world, or so he thought. It would be nice. It would be beautiful. It would be a wonderful wrap-up and a way to send the King of Curses into a shallow grave. All of that juicy stuff, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Because that means the heroes win. Relatively easy. I mean, sure, they lose Megami. They're like... I mean, I give credit to those who believe Megami's going to come back. And if they are, right, I'll give the same credit I give to the Sukuna fan. Where's my hat? Where's my darn hat? The same credit I give to every Sukuna fan who is loyal enough to wait it out. I give credit to you Megami fans. If he actually ends up coming back, hats off to you, just like hats off to the Sukuna fans. But, likelihood, I think Megami's sacked. Once again, Gege is not a kind author. I would not be shocked if Gege just off-screened his deuteragonist. It would surprise me. I mean, it depends on who you think the deuteragonist is. He literally off-screened Gojo. If you think Gojo's the deuteragonist because he literally had a whole arc to himself and he's one of the first major characters we're introduced to, maybe he did already off-screen his deuteragonist. So what's another? So that's my thing. I do think Sukuna can be affected by it. I do think it's possible that it could be written for Yuji and Yuta to understand it through using the footage and through using Yuji's innate understanding and tying to Sukuna, yet at the same time, Yuta's understanding and prodigy nature in Jujutsu, all that, I could see it, but I don't see it happening. However, that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave Sukuna / in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. You can support for as one, count them $1 a month. Keep telling exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Apple the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Wakanda Plays, Red Wolf 4765, and Burp Skills. I'd like to give another very big thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Midnight Gemlord, Kevin, and Demex LND. And I'd like to give a fat, hefty thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchiha, Joaquin, and Idemokami. And I'd like to give another hefty, dafty thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. And another big fat scrumdiddlyumptious thank you to our $25 patrons, Igneal and Calvin Elder.